Compassion and wisdom are two wings of a bird.
Yes. I didn't come up with that one.
I loved it.
But it's very true. Compassion and wisdom are two wings of the bird.
In today's conversation, we are exploring self-compassion and why this skill matters to anyone who's navigating trauma, healing, personal growth. Welcome to Trauma Rewired. I'm your co-host, Elizabeth Kristoff, founder of BrainBase.com, an online community where we use applied neurology and somatics for personal growth, resilience, and behavior change. And I'm also the founder of the Neurosomatic Intelligence Coaching Certification.
And I'm your co-host, Jennifer Wallace. I'm a neurosomatic psychedelic preparation and integration facilitator. And I bring your nervous system into your peak somatic experiences.
With Dr. Kristin Neff, the pioneering researcher who introduced self-compassion into psychology, we'll explore how self-compassion transforms our relationship to pain, emotional health, resilience, and post-traumatic growth.
Back in the day, if we pissed off the group, we'd be shunned.
That's right.
We don't like that. There's a reason for that, for social cohesion. But again, the brain is now reacting to how do I look at my dress, as opposed to, did I do anything that was really worthy of being kicked out of the group?
Yeah. And the perfectionism, too,
Yes.
as a driver.
Yes. We think our worthiness comes from getting it right.
Yeah.
But our humanity comes from getting it wrong.
Yes.
It's true that failure is our best teacher, but somehow we forget that when we fail.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we internalize that as ourselves, and that inner critic comes in is so harsh.
Yeah.
And I think what you were saying too about understanding the biological role for some of these things so that we can have self-compassion when we look at our shame. And we like to talk on here a lot about everything is a skill, and and it's been practiced over time, right?
Yeah.
These responses were adaptations to keep us alive in the moment, to keep our connections met. But then what was our developmental training ground that maybe led to a very hypervigilant, very reactive shame response or perfectionism? But then also remembering, as we're talking about all of this, these were skills that were developed for our survival, and we're neuroplastic beings. So we can continue to repattern and we retrain when we have these small, accessible ways to begin to have a new embodied experience with self-compassion.
Yeah, so the good news is not only can we change our reactions by rewiring our neurons, even when those old patterns arise, you learn to disidentify with them. So that thought, that reaction, I still feel shame. It's not like I don't feel shame, but when shame arises, I'm not fused with the shame. I don't believe the shame. I realize, I'm experiencing shame.
Yeah.
But who am I? I'm the loving awareness that's aware of the shame.
Yes.
I'm not the shame. I am loving awareness itself.
It is such
think
an
about
important
that.
shift.
When you realize you are loving, connected presence, which are the three components of self-compassion: mindfulness, common humanity, and kindness. When you're loving, connected presence, that's a good place to be.
Definitely. It is. And I think it's hard for complex trauma survivors, in the beginning to really understand that. And that's why this is more on the path of post-traumatic growth, because we create this safety, we use NSI, we work in the neurology of our system, we heal deficits, we get into emotional processing, and we can connect. And then the broader of these concepts really comes into more of an embodiment place.
Yeah. But so you two are the experts here, but it also seems that for some people, by having intense traumatic experiences, some people it's actually able to flip them into an incredible wisdom and compassion and empathy you may not have had if your life was just
100%.
Everything went well and fine. So I'm not going to say that it's a gift, but that's why I like the idea of post-traumatic growth and not disorder, because for some people, they've used it. Incredible wisdom, understanding, kindness, empathy, in a way that may not have happened quite the same way.
We are really exploring that this season and walking that line of these experiences, though we wouldn't wish them on anyone, also led to everything that we do now, the work that we have, the connection that we have to people. And for so many of our listeners and clients, maybe the trauma itself is not a gift, but they are the gift. They are the gift, and the whatever it is that they're able to put out in the world from these experiences truly is, the trauma is the portal to be able to have that.
And I've heard you say we're actually recording a conversation after this on post-traumatic growth and wisdom.
Okay.
And I heard you say, I don't know where it was, that compassion and wisdom are two wings of a bird.
Yes. I didn't come up with that one. It's a kind of
I
old
loved
saying,
it.
but it's very true. Compassion and wisdom are two wings of the bird. And so wisdom is what allows us, first of all, to see the interconnectedness of all things. Wisdom, so at least from a Buddhist context, and, I kind of learned about it from Thich Nhat Hanh, who was a Buddhist. Compassion is really seeing how things are interrelated, how everything we do is inextricably interwoven with so many things that we normally think of as not me. Again, our genes, our history, our culture, what we ate that day. We know now that our gut biome makes a big difference. I mean, you don't usually identify as your gut biome, right?
Yeah, but it's
and so once you have wisdom and you see how what we experience is just, it's just life flowing through us. We are the vehicle through which life flows. And when you connect with that life, that vehicle through which life flows, then the warmth and the love just naturally arises. And so they feed each other. Sometimes I think people, they can go too much on the mindfulness end of just, well, the thoughts aren't real, the emotions aren't real, I'm just kind of observing. But there's coldness there. And that's not life. Life isn't cold. The sun is bright, but it's also warm. Naturally.
Yeah.
You don't have to make it warm. It is warm. It's kind of a metaphor for what I think inside of us, of all of us, is this loving awareness. This just part of our, you could say it's part of our nature. You could say it's our true nature. It's underneath our, everything else. And it can be tapped into. And it's not like people with trauma are cut off from it. Yes, there's a lot of things happen that can make it difficult. But as you said, and for some people, it can make the springboard to find a depth of an open heart that is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Agree.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Make sure to subscribe to this episode on our audio platforms or hit the little bell on YouTube to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss an episode, because we have lots of exciting conversations coming up, breaking down the science and the trauma of emotional health and nervous system resilience.